Well, good morning. I opened this clip showing fertilizers being sprayed on fields. Now, we all know that glyphosate and some of the other fertilizers is a danger. Numerous research, medically and of course through the agronomy system and USDA and things, have shown that glyphosate is a problem with the fact that it slowly kills the soil, kills the microbes that are in the soil. And doctors like Dr. Zach Bush have taken the production map of America where glyphosate is used and other fertilizers, and has overlaid that with the highest numbers and incidence of cancer and Parkinson's disease, and they're almost a direct match. And so we realize that our food systems that we have here in America need fixing because people are getting sick from them. And we've also had the question about young people coming down with autism for the same reason. So, knowing that this is a problem, last year, Secretary Kennedy literally called together 10 farmers and talked to them about what they thought could be the fix for this problem. Unfortunately, like most farmers do these days, all they really wanted to do, those 10 farmers, was talk about their farm and how they produce things. And they had absolutely no recommendations at that time for how to fix the farming problem in America. Since we have 96% of American farms are industrial farms using chemicals, and all this, how we got there, is all discussed in the book I wrote called Farming God's Way, and I highly recommend that you read it. If nothing else, it's a great history book to inform you of why we got and how we got to where we're at today in our farming system and the problems that it's caused that are associated with that type of farming. So this last week on the 25th, the President decided to hold another meeting with farmers at the White House and invite Secretary Kennedy and Secretary of Agriculture Rollins to discuss the problem with only 4 farmers. Now, I don't know who those 4 farmers were. I can guess, but if they're 4 farmers that had showed up at the White House before supporting the Green New Deal and some things like that, then once again, they probably didn't get the input they needed. We recommended that Joel Salatin be there, and we even had a jet laid on to go pick him up where he was presenting outside of Boise, Idaho, and take him back. But they sent him a note saying no, he was no longer included in the group that was going to show up, which I thought was kind of devastating and really a bad idea. But that's the way it goes. They had their 4 farmers. And what we're going to cover today is that once that meeting was done, there were some conclusions made, some way ahead actions, some executive actions taken by our president, and there was some money allocated against that path. Now, last year, if you remember correctly, there was $700 million that was put into the Farm Bill. Well, I don't consider that the biggest part of the Farm Bill. I do consider that important because it literally then said, hey, we think this is a big enough problem that we are needing to put money into the Farm Bill to specifically address this problem. In other words, the fact that glyphosate and pesticides and small farms need help, and all farmers need help in America because it's going to impact our health. Hence, we got MAHA involved, and they had the meeting, and President, or I shouldn't say President, boy, there was a Freudian slip, but Bobby Kennedy did have a meeting with Joel Salatin at Charlottesville, and they talked about how the farming situation could be fixed, although he wasn't invited to this meeting, unfortunately. He did go talk on Glenn Beck, so if you want to see a real good interview on the subject, according to Joel, here's the website, and you can sit down and pick that up and look it up and watch it with Glenn Beck when he was interviewed by Glenn Beck. I think that's really great. So what we're going to do today is that I'm going to take the report out from Secretary Kennedy and Secretary Rollins about what this meeting covered, what the conclusions were, and what the way ahead was for our farms as we try to fix them into the future, and in the process of doing that, hopefully fixing the health of America itself. So enjoy the presentation. I hope you get something out of it. If you have any questions or want to discuss any of that further, you know that you can always contact me at dgholloway6@gmail.com or at 540-661-6116, and we can discuss that. Other than that, enjoy the presentation, and I hope you have a great week, and may God bless.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary. Today I'm here with my friend and colleague, Secretary Brooke Rollins of USDA. And Secretary Rollins and I just joined President Trump in the Oval Office with 4 of America's leading regenerative farmers. We wanted the president to hear directly from farmers who successfully transitioned from conventional agriculture to regenerative practices that are demonstrating how they can transition, how they can strengthen soil health, improve farm resilience, increase profitability, and support rural communities. The executive order President Trump signed today reinforces the administration's commitment to partnering with American farmers, expanding the opportunities for regenerative agriculture, and advancing the Make America Healthy Again agenda.
These are working farmers, Bobby, and I know you're with me on this. What an incredible blessing, how inspiring they are. They are running successful operations in some of the most productive agricultural regions in the country. Regenerative agriculture, which includes so many great conservation practices, allows our farmers of all stripes to manage soil health, to adjust input dependency, and to continue to be the best stewards of their most prized asset, their land.
The Make America Healthy agenda is focused on addressing the root cause of America's chronic disease epidemic. That means looking beyond healthcare and examining the factors that shape health every day, including our food system. The quality of our food begins with the way we grow it, and that's why America's farmers are essential partners in this mission. At HHS, we're taking action to better understand how the food system affects health. We're working with EPA to develop a research framework that will strengthen our understanding of cumulative chemical exposures in the food supply. We're also launching an NIH Grand Prize challenge to encourage researchers to develop innovative approaches for measuring, diagnosing, and addressing cumulative chemical exposures and their effects on human health. And through the Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health, we're investing in new technologies that can reduce reliance on chemical crop protection tools while improving human health.
American farmers have always been our best innovators. The producers we met with just a minute ago, just today, and the many that I spend my days meeting are continuing in that great tradition. They are finding new ways to strengthen their operations, to improve efficiency, and to create opportunities and inspiration for future generations. And to help farmers continue innovating, our USDA has made available $700 million for a regenerative pilot program to fund the adoption of regenerative practices. In fact, our NRCS, or our Natural Resources Conservation Service, in their FY26 regenerative pilot program, we have obligated 1,064 contracts already through the EQUIP program, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, and 427 contracts through the Conservation Stewardship Program. This year through RPP, NRCS has completed 67,030 whole farm conservation plans on 49,260,893 acres. We are now working to evaluate ways to expand the reach of that program and using existing authorities to create public-private partnerships that can bring new capacity to producers interested in adopting these regenerative practices.
What impressed us most was how these farmers are leading by example. Collectively, they have influenced the adoption of regenerative practices across tens of millions of acres nationwide. They are showing that healthy soils, resilient farms, and prosperous rural communities go hand in hand.
President Trump understands that America's farmers and ranchers are critical to our nation's future, and certainly, Bobby, all the work on dietary guidelines and better health in foods and better health in Americans' diets, all of the Make America Healthy Again effort is about putting our farmers and ranchers and real food back at the center of everything that we're doing here in Washington in health and at USDA. But that's why this administration and today, this meeting, is about advancing innovation even further reducing unnecessary regulatory barriers and even more new opportunities created for our farmers, our ranchers, and our rural communities.
We can't make America healthy without America's farmers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.